One of the hardest things about getting older for me is joint aches, and I've always been physically active. I've always kept myself pretty fit, circuit training, aerobics, running, weight training, always kept myself reasonably fit. I've done a couple of half marathons in the past and quite a few endurance walks and things. So it's been quite a shock, I think, as I've got into my later 50s, putting on a lot of weight and struggling with back and knee pain. And I've never been to the GP about it. I've never been to my doctor, mainly because I think as general practitioners, they're not orthopedic specialists, they're not personal trainers, they're not remedial trainers, they're not physical therapists, they're general practitioners, and I never find I get a great response. Maybe it's the way I articulate the problem, but I always come away feeling like I've just wasted their time. So I've put up with back pain now for over 8 years. I've had lots of sort of private therapy for it, physiotherapy, traditional Chinese type therapy. I've even had electric shock therapy. I've been to chiropractors, you name it. And it's never really got much better. Actually, it's better this side of menopause than it was in perimenopause, but it's still not brilliant. Especially first thing in the morning, I find that I wake up and my back is stiff as a board. But latterly, in the last, 8 months or so, what I've really been struggling with most is painful knees. And I know I do a very sedentary job now, and I'm nowhere near as active as I was. When I started my business felt like it was all encompassing, and I spend a lot of time at the desk. And although I've got a walking desk treadmill, I find it very hard to work and walk at the same time. So I don't really use it as much as I should. I have a rise and fall standing desk, but I find if I stand at my desk for very long, my back aches. And it's just this cycle of everything feels really hard. But we dance, we do ballroom and Latin dancing, and in the last few months I found that my knees have been incredibly stiff and sore. I find it very hard to fully straighten my legs, and I find it very hard to kneel down. In fact, I can't kneel down now. My knees are just so sore. But they're also quite fluid filled. Let me just adjust the angle here. They're sort of fluid filled and swollen, and I didn't really know what it was. I put it down to poor posture. I put it down to muscle weakness from being sedentary. But I have recently, in the last couple of months, joined a gym, and I've been doing a fair amount of exercise. I'm a trained personal trainer. I've been an exercise instructor since my 20s, and I've been doing all the things that I think I should be doing based on the training that I've had to strengthen my knee joints. And nothing has been working. And I find that walking, which is always advocated for knee pain and for weight loss, doesn't help. I go dancing 2, sometimes 3 times a week, and I love it, but it leaves me in so much discomfort in my knees afterwards. I have started back in the gym doing weight training, so I've been doing leg extensions and leg presses to build up the muscles around my knee joints, and they just feel worse. And I was kind of at the end of my tether, really, because there's nothing more demoralizing than doing what you think you should be doing and not getting the response or the outcome that you think you should be getting. And as an exercise instructor and as a personal trainer, having worked with other people, it's very easy to go, well, you must be doing it wrong, or you would never say it, but there's always this feeling that, well, maybe they're not doing what they say they're doing, or they're misrepresenting what they've actually done. And I know that I haven't been. So to not get the results that I want is infuriating and frustrating. And I know I'm overweight, and it feels like this vicious circle of my weight is hard to manage because it hurts to move around too much. Exercise is painful, and I don't feel I'm getting like any positive results from it. It just makes things feel worse. So I do less, and then it's really hard to manage my weight. And I've got this horrific cycle of just everything not working the way I want it to. But yesterday I'd had enough. Enough is enough. And I started Googling knee pain, and although I kind of thought it was probably arthritis related, I've never really looked into what the actual symptoms of knee arthritis are. And oh my God, I am textbook, absolutely textbook. So I started doing what I normally do, which is a lot of research, especially around why a lot of the stuff that I was finding that is meant to be beneficial was actually having a negative effect. And I came across this YouTube channel, Paso Manual Therapy, I think it's called. I'll link to it below. And for the first time, I heard somebody explain exactly what I was feeling in my knees, and explaining why everything I've been trying to do to make them better wasn't working. So I'm going to make a few changes. First of all, I'm going to stop doing what I'm doing and start doing what I think it's Dr. David from El Paso Manual Therapy is saying to do, which is to really work on strengthening the rear muscles, the glutes in particular, so your butt muscles, because I know I've got an imbalance. And I think, weirdly, being so active all through my adult life has probably not helped, because most of what we do is focused on things like squats and lunges and lots of front moving muscles. So we get a muscle imbalance. So I've known this for a long time. If you get knee pain, not arthritic pain, but just knee pain, maybe from exercise, quite often it's because there's a strength imbalance between the quad muscles at the front and the hamstrings and the glutes at the back. And because the quads become stronger and tighter, they pull the kneecap around and pull the knee joint out of alignment. And I've kind of known this, but it hadn't clicked that what I was doing was exacerbating that imbalance. So I'm going to take on board what this doctor is talking about, and I'm going to change my exercise routine. It's going to be really hard to not walk, and he's not saying don't walk, but what he's saying is while there's a lot of inflammation there and a lot of swelling and a lot of fluid around the knee joint, walking, especially if you're walking from a place of quad dominance, is just going to exacerbate the problem. And I think it means I'm going to have to put dancing on hold for a few weeks until I can strengthen my glutes. But he's got a video with 6 isolated glute exercises, which I'm going to start doing and really start to reset that balance and just give my knees a chance for the swelling to go down and to recover and heal a little bit. And on top of that, because I'm not going to be doing any particular aerobic exercises, although I am going to continue doing aquafit, because I think that probably, as long as I'm conscious of making sure that I'm engaging my glute muscles when I exercise, I think that will be all right. But I'm also going to cut out alcohol. I do drink more than I should, and I've done this before numbers of times where I've given up for months and months and it's not really bothered me. I think it's a habit, but I'm going to give up alcohol because I think what alcohol does, it dehydrates me, and I'm not great with hydration. So that's the second thing I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure that I drink more clear fluids and less teas, coffees, alcohol, and try and maintain my hydration, because obviously if the body's dehydrated, that's going to cause inflammation and swelling. So that's something I'm definitely going to do as well. And I have a pretty good diet already most of the time, but I definitely have too many snacks that aren't particularly healthy thrown in there. So the Mediterranean diet, or the Mediterranean style diet, is cited to be one of the most anti-inflammatory diets there is out there. So lots of fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, whole foods, not processed, a reduction in red meat, an increase in fish. I like fish, I don't love it, but I try and include one oily fish a week. I think I need to up that. So I've just been shopping to buy a whole load of fresh vegetables. We also have Hello Fresh for our evening meals, which are pretty good, but they never give you enough vegetables. There's a vegetable, maybe one or two vegetables at the most. So I've just stocked up on loads of vegetables and salad. I'm not a huge fan of fruit. I don't mind a little bit of fruit, but I don't love it. So I'm going to try and include a bit more fruit, but I'm really going to up the amount of vegetables that I have. And I'm also going to go back to eating more protein, because that's definitely something that I haven't been doing enough of. So that's the diet sorted. I think I'm on the right track with exercise. I've got some high potency glucosamine and chondroitin, I think it's called, supplement with ginger and turmeric. Both, I know turmeric is anti-inflammatory, I know ginger is as well. I'm not a huge fan of supplements. I think a lot of them are overhyped, but looking at the research into glucosamine, especially when it's combined with things like turmeric, and there's another ingredient, I can't remember what it is, when they all come together, there's some good science looking at the research into it. It does look like there's some credibility around that supplement. So I've got some coming today from a reputable company. And all in all, I've just decided enough is enough. And it's time to really tip the balance on getting my fitness back, my weight down, and my mobility better. I'm 58. I should not be in this much pain just moving around on a day-to-day basis, and I'm damned if I'm going to go down the medication and surgery route. There has to be a way that I can manage this myself through lifestyle. What's your best advice if you've got knee arthritis? What have you found has worked well for you? Because I think, you know, there's never a one size fits all. So I will be honest, I'm not really into all the holistic stuff. And I'm certainly not into anything that's promoted by an MLM company. Maybe that's my narrow-mindedness. Maybe, I don't know. But if there's an exercise that you found has been particularly helpful, or a well-researched, science-backed, evidence-based supplement that you think would be helpful, other than sort of the glucosamine, chondroitin that I'm talking about, let me know. And yeah, this is my day one on my road to healing from knee arthritis, and I will let you know how it goes, because it's bloody painful. I'll talk to you again soon.